Hello, sweet souls. I'm so glad to be back with you. I missed you last week. I have had a head cold and couldn't even record because I don't think you would have understood me. Uh, and so I hope that this finds you thriving and living in abundance and really, truly honoring your heart's wisdom. And so I'm Danny Palacio, and this is a Waking Moment podcast. And we have a very exciting topic today. Can you believe that it's December? I know several of my friends have commented of, how can it already be December? It's a general feeling I think that most of us feel at this time of year every year. Like, how in the world could this be the last month of 2025? And it made me stop and go, I think I did an episode at the beginning of this year talking about maybe having a keyword or a word that you want to explore. And here we are. Have you explored it? I'm going to share a little bit about my journey around the word satisfied. But before I jump into that, I want to just take a moment to honor that we are in December. And in December, we're getting in the northern hemisphere, we're getting darker and darker and darker. The days are becoming shorter. The light is decreasing. And that will all shift on winter solstice. But for now, it kind of feels dark, kind of feels heavy, a little bit more introspective, right? And there's also the holiness of December. It's a sacred time of year for so many religions, cultures. It's deeply focused on good news and having hope and connecting with family and your ancestors. And so these two things exist at the same time. And I want to encourage you to just honor your emotions that are coming up, honor the process. And I'm going to give you some ideas and some insight as to maybe why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And also in the notes, in the episode notes, there are a series of journaling prompts. If this is something that sounds good to you, that you want to explore, I encourage you to look at those because they will help support you in getting where you want to go in the next month so that you can enter 2026 in a new way. And that is critically important. Did you know that 2025, when you add it up, is a 9? And 9 is a number in numerology, in angel numbers, in spirit numbers. It's a number of completion. So I want you to think of it as like a graduate or the sage, someone who has learned and now has more mastery of self. It's also, in a lot of ways, you can think about it like you're going down the road and the odometer resets. All of a sudden, you're not at 35,000 miles on your car, you are at 0. What does that feel like? Can you imagine waking up one day and feeling that you are back at the 0 point of your life, of this incarnation? Like, how in the world do you do that? And 9s help us do that. I have to admit, I don't like the number 9 so much because it's intense. It is the end of a cycle, the end of an era. And every time I get to a 9 in my journey, I'm like, oh man, there's going to be a lot of work. But hopefully, I've shifted my thinking and now am more grateful for the number 9 and excited that there's something new coming. So for this episode, I want to set the intention that we are closing the door gently but firmly so that we don't have to drag our old baggage, our past, our trauma into this fresh new year of 2026. Because when you add up 2026, get that, it's a 1. So you are starting a brand new cycle. You are entering a brand new something. There is a new beginning, which is exciting. Like, I feel the excitement in my chest. I feel the excitement in my belly. I got a little like nervous for a moment because newness is unknown. We don't know. And I've been practicing that this year, letting go of knowing. I don't have to know. All I have to do is show up every moment of every day as authentic as I possibly can. And some days I don't do it, and that's okay too. It's a journey, and cultivating self-compassion and understanding and grace help you move through in a moment where you didn't really shine so bright, or you shrunk so small that you don't even recognize yourself. So no judgment, no good, no bad, no right, no wrong. Just let it be and move on to the next thing. So I want you to think back. The 9-year cycle is 2017 to 2025. Who were you in 2017? I've been asking myself this question. Who was I in 2017? Woo! That Danielle, that Danny, wow, she was in a tizzy of a whirlwind of changing, and I think I physically moved that year. I did. I moved back to Minnesota. And that girl, that young woman, that mature adult had all kinds of opportunities, all kinds of challenges, and it's good to remember, but I want to put it in a context for you where it's safe to look back. Because sometimes I don't do these things because I get nervous, I get fearful, I feel like I could get overwhelmed. And I don't want you to feel that way. This is a joyful experience of looking back. If you think about who you were and you think about who you are today, what have you learned? What lessons have come into your life? What heartbreak have you had? Because breaking your heart open doesn't always feel so good, but it is a level of expansion. Did you change careers? Did you shift identities? I want to validate that growth. I've been doing my own journaling. I'm recording this on December 2nd. And I've started a new practice for this month to help me stay engaged in the remembrance, the honoring, and the celebration. And where there is embarrassment or shame or hurt feelings or uncomfortable memories, I try to look at them more of opportunities and lessons, and not so much of, oh, I didn't do that, I didn't get that done, I'm not, blah, 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 I'm not ready. That whole internal critic that likes to tell you that you're not enough, that you haven't done enough, that, you've upset people, that you're not worthy, that you don't deserve something. All, excuse my language, all bullshit. That is not true. And I want you to remember that. It is not true. The critic in your mind is there because your brain and your ego try to keep you safe. And if you start to grow, if you start to expand, it's not safe. And your brain wants to come in and tell you, stay the old way, stay in the darkness, keep your light small. Don't share your opinion. Don't own your truth. Don't express your passion. Don't go for that dream that you had, or that spark, or that inspiration. Don't do it. Don't do it, because all the things. The script is long. I try to see it like this. I know this is going to take some people back, and so I want you to think about a record player that goes round and round, and you put a record on it, and it has a needle that plays the record. When I get overwhelmed by my internal self-critic, I visually think of lifting the needle off the record and putting it back on its stand. It's secure, it's safe there, and the noise, the critic, has quieted. It's done. It's not talking anymore. So from 2017 to 2025, I want you to take a moment and really honor the way in which you have survived and the way in which you have evolved. So almost a decade, it's 9 years. Now is the opportunity. You've got 1 month left of 2025. Is there anything left from this era of who you've been that needs to be finished before the clock strikes midnight on the 31st of December. Think about it that way. Think about Cinderella. The clock struck midnight and that carriage turned back into a pumpkin. I mean, there is that possibility where you're going to look back and be like, that's not what it was. I thought I was in a carriage, but it was actually a pumpkin. So if anything should come up for you in those 9 years, 2017 to 2025, what needs to be finished? What needs to be let go of? We've been doing this nonstop this year. Astrologically, energetically, spiritually, we are evolving. We are diving into the mud, into the murk, into the unknown, into the fear, and let it go. We've got a full moon in Gemini on Thursday, and that full moon is the last full moon of this calendar year. And when we think about that, the full moon illuminates. It's so bright. You can't even see the stars when it's a full moon on a clear night. Like, they're way out there because the moon is shining brightly. And that's our opportunity to say, what am I seeing now that I can see more? How am I shining brightly? How could I shine more brightly? All those kind of retrospective kind of thoughts. So I'm going to shift a little because one of the things that I've noticed in my own clients and in my own self, friends, families, is that we still tend to quiet our voice. We still tend to not own our passion. I want to encourage you to own your passion. I want to encourage you to speak your truth. I don't care if anyone else doesn't get it. And you shouldn't either, because it's yours. Like, it doesn't matter if no one else resonates with it. What matters is that you're using your voice, your vocal cords, or you're using your pen to write it out. You're expressing in your creative art, whatever that looks like. Keep doing it and do it more. So the reflective question for you then would be, how have you dimmed your light to make others comfortable during these last 9 years? And maybe in 2017, 2018, 2019, you were really in the don't speak. And then COVID hit. Yeah, COVID's in this 9 years. Then COVID hit and everybody and everything went internal, and it wasn't safe to be out in the world. It wasn't safe to go grocery shopping. New rules and new sanitation and only so many people in the store. Do you remember that stuff? That when you were waiting in line, they had numbers so that you were 6 feet apart from everyone. So how did you dim yourself then? Did you just hide and sit in fear and wonder if you were going to get COVID and die? Or were you one of those people that heard about COVID, don't believe in it, and went forward in their life? Again, no right or wrong. I know we had lots of judgment when we were going through it, but now it's hindsight. So they often say, the phrase is, you can look back and have 20/20 vision. Allow yourself to have it and don't judge it. Please don't judge it. Acknowledge it and then move forward. And if you feel a lower vibration of some kind of emotion that's keeping you down, keeping you stuck, keeping you chained, cut the cords and release yourself, forgive yourself, and do whatever you have to do. Write it out, burn the letter, dance it out because that's how you get it out. Go for a run. Whatever your mechanism is to help process and help the body and the spirit come into oneness, do it. Light a candle, pull a card, look at your astrology, whatever that might be. Say a prayer. Ask God for support. Ask the trees to support you. Ask Mother Earth to show you the way. Ask for signs. Your spirit team, they're there to give you signs. So ask for them and look for them. All right. Couple other questions. They'll be in the summary as well. but where have you swallowed your words? So here you are in a conversation with someone, whether you love them, whether you want something from them, whether they're the cashier at the grocery store. How have you swallowed your words? And swallowing your words, by the way, just makes you feel full and uncomfortable and incomplete. So again, I talked about that 2025 is a completion year. And I want to frame that a little bit differently. Completion is not just finishing a task. I want you to think about it as finishing the habit of self-betrayal. Because honestly, every time you don't speak your truth, you don't show up, you don't shine your light, you don't share your wisdom, you try to hide. You're betraying yourself, and that's a habit, and that habit can change. So as we declare 2025 to be complete, have it be the finishing of the habit of self-betrayal. And I want to know how you do with that, because as I was preparing for this episode, that came and I was like, whoa, self-betrayal. Like, it's a new way to look at how to finish things. And I love that. I love that we can step into committing to be more authentic. We can step into discovering our authenticity. We can joyfully go and have a new experience and ask, did that resonate? Did I like that? Will I do it again? If the answer is no, congratulations on your clarity. I mentioned about cutting the chains a couple minutes ago. And I've also talked about forgiveness. I know you guys have heard this before, but when you don't forgive, you're only hurting yourself. You're the one who's keeping the bondage, the pain, the suffering, the anger, the disgust, the betrayal. So would you be willing to say, I want to be free from that? And so I forgive myself. I forgive myself for thinking some way. I forgive myself for limiting myself. I forgive myself for the way I perceived the experience, the person, the event, and regain the mental space and the heart space and the freedom of the energy. Like, when we release, when we forgive, stuff leaves, energy leaves, and it fills in. Some people get a little nervous about this, but the space doesn't stay empty. The space is filled with love and possibility. And so when the new thing comes, it has a very rich, very supportive soil to take that new possibility in and see what happens. Do you grow? Do you expand? Yeah. Okay. And so I have talked about cord cutting, I think, several times. And I even think there's a couple episodes where maybe myself or a guest of mine from last year talked about cord cutting. And the simple way to think about it is there is an energetic cord from me to an event, from me to someone, and from me to a feeling even. And when we have that cord, our energy, our core energy that is us, it leaks out that cord. It gets sucked out that cord from whoever you've corded with. And people can cord to you. And I want to encourage you to shift your thought that cording is safe, that somehow being tethered to a place or to a person gives you safety. It does not. It does not. And sometimes we don't even know we're corded to a past experience or a past someone. And the best way that I can support you in understanding is, one, get your tool. Are you going to use like scissors, like energetic scissors? Are you going to ask Archangel Michael with his sword of truth to come and cut the cords? Are you going to see a ray of light that comes in and severs the cord? And the best thing about the cord cutting is that the cord that's left within you, it's plugged in. And so I want you to imagine the remaining bit of that cord coming back into your body and sealing that space so that no new cord can be attached to it. So you've got your tool, you know how you want to see the cord cut. And if you're visual, I want you to close your eyes and say, show me where my cords are. If you use kinesiology or muscle testing, ask, do I have cords? Yes or no. How many cords do I have? Muscle test, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, do you have to know what the cord is attached to? Person, place, thing, event. You do not most of the time. People get curious and want to know. So that's up to you. I say, if you don't need to know, don't know, and just cut the cords and move forward. And then take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, visualize all the cords gone. And if you're not visual and you don't do kinesiology, then I want you to trust your mind. I want you to trust your beautiful mind and say, I have cords, because I think everyone does. There's very few people that do not have some cord, or one cord, two cords. Some have 100. And ask your mind, say, what have I been ruminating on? What person, what experience, what's my ongoing story that I keep telling everyone? Those are cords. And so you can cut those, and you can just ask your brain to help you acknowledge and write them down. And then you get to have fun, and you get to you could go get a red marker and you could cross off each one. And that red marker crossing off that thing on that piece of paper, know that the cord is cut. And so wherever you are in the spectrum of spirituality, energy, belief, I want to offer you opportunities for the intuitive spirit part of you to be honored and seen, and the beautiful mental mind. So either way, it's going to work. And in the end, when it's all said and done, and you took that last breath and that big exhale, where are you? What is different? The difference is you've reclaimed your energy, and you are standing in the ability to really, truly live your truth. And that's amazing. And you might have to cut cords every day. It's not a one and done kind of thing. You can have a conversation with someone on the phone and end up all triggered or all emotional. There's been a cord. I heard the best thing the other day on, it was on a podcast? No, it was on a YouTube video. And I loved this, the way that it was said. I had heard it before in different ways, but so here it is. When the exchange is authentic and it is full of truth and love, cords don't need to be created. See, cords are created because there's a belief inside of ourselves that we need the cord. And it's how we're going to stay attached to someone, something, somewhere. And it's true. The cords are like chains keeping us attached. But when we are authentic and we share our love and we share our truth, we don't need cords. Cords aren't needed because we are choosing to do that. It is an empowered act. So one quick example, I've been dealing with the idea and the feelings of family and loyalty, obligation, and where that really sits within me. And the more I've dug into it, that the form of obligation, why would you go see someone out of obligation? It's so low frequency, and it honestly does not support your highest, does not support the other person's highest, and you end up courting. You end up allowing other people or yourself a place where you start to give yourself away because you've done it out of obligation. It's not authentic. And wouldn't it be better, at least this is what I ask myself, wouldn't it be better to show up authentically and have the spaciousness and the boundaries and the awareness that you are choosing this experience, this exchange? I do think that for me is very, very true. Okay, in the beginning of this episode, I said I was going to share a little bit about my personal journey with the word satisfied. Oh my God. Oh, satisfied, I had to look it up in the dictionary. I didn't really know what it meant because in my world, feeling satisfied was not acknowledged. So I needed to teach myself throughout this 2025 what was satisfied. And I noticed several different times that an exchange could be super satisfying, deeply nourishing for me. Where I thought satisfied was really tied to food, what you ate and you felt satisfied. It's so much more than that. And so many times when I thought I was satisfied, excuse me, I was actually settling. I was actually trying to make the exchange, the food, the person, the experience enough. And that is not it. That is not satisfied. That is settling for something, hoping that it's going to fulfill your desire to feel satisfied. And it's been a journey because I had to learn what it was. And I am by no means done with this concept or this word. I've learned a lot about it, and there's so much more to learn. So and I haven't done this yet, so I'm happy to share it with you, but I really need to go back and identify where I found and where I experienced satisfaction in 2025. And I think it has a lot to do with when I just said that, it has a lot to do with owning my truth. I don't and haven't always shared my emotions with people, my feelings, because I'm too much. It's too much. They can't handle it. I have all the stories of go on and on about it. But it makes me insane, really, truly. My nervous system starts to freak out. My mind overthinks. I'm trying to figure out how I can do the next step and then the next step so that it all works out instead of just saying what I'm feeling to the person that I'm feeling it about. And I don't want to make them wrong. I want to own that I feel it, and that I'm sharing it for my own mental health, not to do anything else. And so I'm learning how to do that. And I'm just beginning to really understand what that means to me. And every time I do it, I feel such freedom. I feel I feel satisfied. I feel satisfied with myself, and it's beautiful. And so whatever your word was, if you had a word or an intent, go back and look at it and really just allow yourself to see all of it, and feel joyful, happy, grateful that you were able to do all of that. All right. Wow. What an episode so far. You guys are like, so far? Whoa, okay. I won't go on too much longer, I promise. I'm asking my guides right now, how do you want me to end this episode? And I want to end with a statement, I think. Maybe it will turn into a prayer. Maybe it will turn into a blessing. When we come to an end of a cycle, an end of an experience, the closing of something, it can be bittersweet. And I want you to rise above and find the love for yourself, find the joy for yourself. It is not about anyone else. And no one has to know anything about that journey if you don't want to share it. But if you are feeling the need to share it, ask yourself, how can you do that? And do it. Maybe it's a conversation, maybe cleaning out a closet and decluttering helps your brain go, oh, okay, this I can process the completion of this year or this experience or this feeling. And last but not least, I call upon all of your ancestors for each one of you. I ask that they show up with great love and grace and compassion. I ask that your spirit beings, whatever they may be for you, angels, animals, ascended masters, gods, goddesses, the divine, Jesus, Mary, whoever, whatever they are, I ask them to step closer to you so that you can feel their presence and know that you are not alone and know that you have everything you need within yourself, and allow 2025 to complete the cycle. Become prepared for 2026. And I'm not going to go into what 2026 is all about or how to prepare for it per se. I might do an episode on it to support you in your next year, because we all are going to step into 2026. So how do we want it to look? It's a good question. I might have to ponder that a little. So I am deeply grateful for you, for your continued support, and I ask that you share this. Please share the episode, like it, subscribe to it, share it on your social media, send the link to your friends and family, because we all need each other. We are a part of an extended worldwide community of beautiful souls that are in the journey of discovering our individual truths so that we can be authentic. And I find that to be thrilling. I find that to be so exquisite. And I hope that you continue to stay with me and listen to the next episode. I'm going to be linking a couple episodes, particularly the first one of the year, in case you want to go back and review what I had said then. It was pretty eye-opening for me. All right. Take care. Until the next time.